The impact of climate change demands urgent action, and the folks at Panasonic are making the well-being of the planet a top priority by launching the Panasonic Green Impact Initiative, a company commitment to achieve net zero in-house carbon emissions by the year 2030. And that's just the beginning. Through this initiative, Panasonic is making the systemic changes necessary to combat the climate crisis, creating next-gen battery storage, leveraging renewable energy, and driving EV solutions. Join Panasonic in helping to create a greener, more equitable future. Learn more about Panasonic Green Impact at Panasonic.com.
Big news, country fans. Ram Trucks is coming back to the iHeart Country Festival Saturday, May 13th in Austin, Texas. And this year, the highlight of the show will definitely be the We're All Country guitar pull, powered by Ram Trucks, featuring performances by country music's biggest names. Like these stars, Ram owners have heart for being fearless, determined, and bold. That's why it's time for you to be a Ram. Check out what the 2023 Ram 1500 has to offer by visiting ram.com today.
Hey, y'all, it's Janice Torres.
And Austin Hankwitz.
We're the hosts of Mind the Business, Small Business Success Stories, a new podcast presented by iHeartRadio and Intuit QuickBooks. In this series, we'll speak to founders and creators about the business models that turn their ideas into success.
From starting a business with no money, yes, it can be done, to using social media like an expert marketer, we've got you covered. Follow and listen to Mind the Business, Small Business Success Stories on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Second date update.
We got an email from one of our listeners named Fran who said she dates a lot.
Okay.
Probably more than the average person, according to her.
Was that a brag?
Well,
was it
I don't
just
know
a
if that's a
fact?
brag if you're having to go out with lots and lots and lots of people.
Right.
It's like the opposite problem of being like alone.
But she says after 35 dates over the last 6 months, she thinks she finally found a guy who doesn't totally repulse her.
Hey, that's good.
So her bar's very high.
Yeah. Well, and now he's not calling her back.
What? No.
The repulsor becomes the repulsee.
No.
And she's on the phone right now. Fran, I love you. You disgust me. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you guys?
We're wonderful.
Oh my God. I feel like you're proof that when people say you just got to put yourself out there, that it doesn't actually always work.
Yeah. You put yourself out there a lot.
Yeah. For years and years and years. And
Yeah,
eventually.
you poor thing.
Tell us about the guy that you recently met.
Okay, so I met this guy through the way we always hate meeting people, online dating.
Yeah, for sure.
And his name is Tommy.
Okay.
Okay.
He was so handsome. And, but you see a ton of people online that are attractive and you kind of don't think anything of it. But I looked through his photos and he had this one photo of him with 2 cats that were his cats.
Aww.
It was really sweet because guys are always posting photos with like dogs or like when they're fishing and all this other stuff. And it was just really sweet to see something that wasn't that.
He posted a totally different animal. This guy is a keeper.
I don't know.
Kinda.
Yeah, a cat guy, it just screams he's sensitive, he's in tune, he's not like, there's no toxic masculinity stuff happening there.
Oh, like if it was a tiger cat, that would be a red flag. But a house cat,
Red flag.
that's a green one.
So, we had some really cute banter back and forth. And finally, he kind of dropped this hint like, oh, I make these really amazing homemade enchiladas.
Ooh.
I know. And he was just like, how would you feel if I made dinner for you and you came over? And
Did it feel too good to be true already? He's hot, he's got cats, he cooks for you.
Honestly, kind of. But, you also have that thing where you're like, well, maybe 27 or 80 times the charm, whatever we're at now. And so you're like, we'll see.
I like your eternal optimism on the dating world, like to go out on that many dates and keep trying.
You kind of have to be, because I think if you get too jaded, that's not attractive to people either, you know?
No, that's true too. That's probably where I'm at.
I'm guessing you RSVP'd yes to the enchilada date.
I did.
Nice.
So, I went over there, really cute place, clean, another plus.
Oh, wow.
So he makes these enchiladas, and I'm watching him cook. There's something so sexy about watching a man cook and when he knows his way around the kitchen.
I really like it when they throw a towel like over the side of their shoulder. That's like a thing for me.
Know.
Oh, yeah, and the big chef hats. Sexy.
No, but I will take an apron, though.
An apron is good. A hat is not good, Jeff.
No. Okay, I'll get rid of mine.
Hairnet either. You don't need a hairnet.
Oh, what about the big fake mustache?
Yeah.
Right?
Swedish chef style?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the vibe like, the conversation?
So it was good. Like, our banter online was pretty much the same in person, which is always nice. It wasn't awkward. And we're chatting back and forth. And of course, inevitably, it always comes to the same question, which is, what do you do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I work in insurance. That is not a sexy thing to talk about. It's boring.
What are you talking about? Insurance is hot. I can show you a 20-page document.
Yeah.
You have to sign on the bottom.
All in 9 font. So you told him insurance?
Yeah, well, if I'm feeling it out and the vibe is good, I'll usually be pretty honest and be like, my day job is insurance, but I'm also an author and I'm working on a book right now.
Oh,
That's cool.
that is better. You're right.
And that's true, right?
It is true, yes. But the problem is they always say, well, what are you working on now? And I am really honest about it. And this is true. I'm working on a collection of all of the worst dates that I've been on.
Oh. Okay.
It's slightly relatable. I have a lot of comedian friends, and it's hard to date because girls immediately go, oh, I don't want to end up in one of your jokes on stage.
Yeah, totally.
This would be like, I don't want to end up in one of your books.
Yeah.
Then don't mess it up.
Well, that's a lot of pressure, Brooke. It's easy to mess up.
Is that the vibe of what happened with Tommy?
Yeah, it really kind of derailed. And, we finished dinner. Dinner was great still. But this is the thing I usually will do, too, is like I don't want to put too much pressure on somebody, especially if you're like invited to their home or whatever. So I had made plans already to go and meet up with my friends after we had dinner in a bar. And and I told him that. I said, you're more than welcome to come, hoping that he would.
But you're more than welcome to come isn't always a full invite. It feels like a pity invite, I feel like.
But I think some people would like to be invited like that. For me, it's like, I don't feel pressured where it's like, shoot, now if I say no, I'm rejecting her.
That's interesting.
It's kind of like, oh, you know what? I don't think this time, but maybe next time.
What did he say?
Oh, he said no. Yeah, and it was really weird, and like we had this really awkward hug goodbye. And I really liked him a lot, and I really just want some clarity because I feel like this is a thing that you can't be mad at somebody for working on something well before you ever met.
Well, and it doesn't have anything to do with him.
I mean, what was his reaction? Because you seem to think that this was the main part of the night where things started to go downhill.
Right.
Like, tell us more about how Tommy reacted when you told him about the book.
I got a vibe from him that he just started to like internalize and be like, oh, well, is that why she's on a date with me? Is she really interested in me, or is this research, you know?
Okay.
Well, you should tell him you're past the research stage. That was 3 months ago. You're well into the second edit of this thing.
When he rejected you, you should have just pulled out a notebook and been like, well, looks like okay,
making
10.
a footnote of this.
Thanks for chapter 24.
Well, we'll see once and for all if he does end up in your book.
Ooh, can we be in the book?
I don't want to be in that book. Why do you want to be? It's the worst experiences.
And you know what? I'm probably already in her book.
Yeah. Twice, actually.
Now.
We'll come back, and we're going to call Tommy and see if we can get you another date with him when we do your second date update next.
Second date update.
Top 3 worst things you could say to a guy on a first date.
Okay.
I'm not who I said I was.
Ooh. Yeah, it's not good.
Ooh, wow.
Your dad was better.
Oh, dang.
Truth hurts.
And I'm a New York Jets fan.
Oh, boo.
Yikes.
You just love mediocrity.
Do those exist, though? Like, they don't really exist.
I'm not even New York fan. I like the Giants.
They're too embarrassed to admit it. But also, not a great idea to tell a guy, I'm currently writing a book about the worst dudes I've ever gone out with.
That's pretty dang bad, bro.
Is it bad, though? I mean, it's your first date with her. You think so, too?
It plays off of a
bad.
guy's insecurities,
Okay.
which are many. And that's exactly what Fran said when she was out with Tommy the other night while he was making her enchiladas. That moment kind of derailed their entire night.
But he was a guy that had cats in the photo of his dating profile. He shouldn't have had insecurities.
What?
You
Wait,
know?
how does that equate?
She understands what I'm saying, right?
Does that make sense to you, Fran?
I mean, yeah. I thought he was more in touch with that stuff.
Oh. See?
Huh. So all I gotta do is get a cat and then perfect. Love
I know. It's just like the vibe of cat dudes give off like, I'm stable. I know who I am.
Huh.
Really?
They give you a mental checklist before you buy a cat.
I'm just saying. That's the vibe.
That's the vibe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Okay. Nothing toxic about what Brooke just said.
I don't think Jeff's accepting it, though.
Okay. Shouldn't have insecurities. All right. Let's see if he agrees with that sentiment when we call him right now. You ready to do this, Fran?
Let's do it.
I hope one of the cats answer.
Let's give it a try.
Hello?
Hey, is this Tommy?
Yes.
You an insecure boy, Tommy?
What?
What the
Why did you say that?
I don't see what you thought.
No, I thought he wasn't.
Tommy, sorry.
Sorry.
We already were having a discussion before we called you.
Yeah, it spilled over into this phone call. We're a radio show called Brooke and Jeffrey in the morning.
Yo.
Why are you calling me?
Good question. We're doing this segment called a second date update. And one of our listeners asked us to reach out to you because you two hung out the other night. Remember Fran?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You cooked enchiladas for her, we heard, which is a pretty awesome move.
How do you know all this?
This is straight from Fran's mouth. Well, Fran's mouth to my ears to my mouth.
Why are you making everything so strange today?
I don't know.
Fran told us is what he's trying to say.
Yes,
Those are the words I was looking
All
for.
you have to say is told us.
Yes. Because she likes you.
She likes you and she wants to see you again and is confused why it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I mean, just being honest, it was a little weird.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, man. Like, we get emails all the time from people asking us to do these for them. And Fran admitted that she's dated a lot of people, and you stood out among all the guys. You were different, and she really, really liked you. And she also wishes that she didn't bring up the book that she was writing.
Well, okay, so that's the thing. I mean, it was going fine. You know, she seemed nice enough. You know, it was a fine date, and then she brings up this book, and it's just like, I mean, it's so weird. Like, am I just content for you to put into your book? Like,
But she wouldn't tell you about the book if she thought you were going to be in it. Like, she was just sharing what's going on in your life, or her life, and she had already written about all the other bad dates. She really thought she was on a good date with you.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing. So then I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird, but maybe it's fine. You know, maybe this doesn't include me. But then I was like, hey, so what are some of the bad dates that you went on?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Showing interest.
Talk about it.
That's a good question. Then you know what not to do.
Well, and I'm sure she has like some big stories that she made bigger just to make the book entertaining too,
true,
right?
Yeah.
Did she tell you, or did she keep it a secret? You have to buy the book to find out.
She only read the first 20 sentences, and then you have to purchase the rest.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
She told me a few, and she said they were all 100% real, that she didn't embellish.
Okay.
But one of them, she was like, oh, man, it was so terrible. I, had this date with this guy, and he just wanted to play board games all night.
Okay.
Like, we went back to his place, and he had Monopoly, and he had Scrabble, and it was just, like, an endless, that's all he wanted to do.
Monopoly. What do you want this date to last 3 days?
It's not really book worthy.
Yeah.
that was
That's
her.
true. Yeah, that's
That was her
true.
horror story.
So what's the problem with that?
Well, the thing is that I kind of had a whole night planned, and after dinner, what's in my living room? A couple of board games for us to play.
Oh, no.
Oh, I see. So it just derailed your. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
But then I had to make excuses to sneak over to the living room and hide the games I had.
Oh, you did?
Like, I guess we're not going to play Connect 4 tonight.
I bet that's
Right.
not what she meant. I bet it's not that she didn't want to play board games. It's just that maybe this guy had literally hours of it planned
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
all he wanted.
Or was really competitive in a dumb way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but then she was also I've been on so many dates where guys have tried to cook for me and just totally burnt the food.
Oh.
And I'm in the middle of cooking while she says this. So then I'm like, oh my
Turning
God.
the oven down.
I was like, if I don't get these enchiladas perfect, I'm going to get written about. And I'm like, it was just very stressful and not fun.
Okay. I mean, I could see how her stories, you could interpret them to be about you.
It
I don't think that
pressure.
it wasn't her intention, though.
Yeah. And you don't have to just believe us telling you that. You can hear it straight from Fran's mouth. Why do I keep saying it like that?
You are obsessed with body parts, buddy.
Because she's on the other line right now and wants to talk to you, man.
Oh, my God.
Hey.
That's Fran in her mouth.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fran's mouth. Say stuff.
Hey, Tommy. First of all, I'm sorry.
That's a good start.
Everything that you said is true, and you had asked, and I just thought it would be, like, they were kind of funny and silly, and I just thought it would be fine to kind of talk about it, but I can see how that would send somebody kind of into their head.
Tommy,
Yeah.
are you hearing her?
No, he's in his head.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like a little... I don't know how you want me to feel about that, you know? It's just like, I feel like it's like, all right, sweet, put a ton of pressure on me, like on this first date when I don't know you, you know?
Right.
Listen, first of all, I had no idea about the board games, and I'm sorry if you felt like you had to hide stuff. And to be clear, the board game guy tried to explain Settlers of Catan to me for an hour, and I just couldn't handle it.
Okay.
But it's not that you hate any board games as a date night. It was just with that particular guy, right?
Be careful, Tommy.
Yeah, with somebody that, yeah.
You're down to Scrabble with Tommy, maybe?
Scrabble's one of the worst games.
Well,
Don't name that
It's so fun.
Name something else.
Okay.
What, you want Mousetrap?
Yes.
You want some
Now we're
Yeah.
talking.
Play some Operation?
Oh,
That's a
hungry
good one.
hippos can
Also
turn into
solid.
horny
No,
hippos,
it can't, Jose.
That's for me.
I've actually never played Hungry Hippos. So.
Oh, bro, you're
No,
missing out.
it is the worst game. It is so dumb. I'm sorry.
God, bro.
Fun for the whole family.
It
bro.
is.
I mean, honestly, as somebody who talked about not liking board games, I really like that game.
Oh,
See?
It's like 4v1, Brooke. Take that.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
fine.
Brooke.
I really, Tommy, I'm going to take Fran's side here. I really don't think you need to feel like insecure about her, worst people I've ever dated book.
Just don't read chapter 14. Cause...
Maybe her second book can be about how her dating life turned into a relationship, and that could be starring you.
Nobody wants to read that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing a worst coworkers I've ever had book, and no one in this room is in it.
Yeah.
See, you don't need to feel insecure about that at all.
I don't, because I,
Keep talking, you might
Brooke
make your
wouldn't
way in.
care.
just by comparison.
But I really think you should give Fran another shot here, Tommy. And if you're willing to go out with her, we'll pay for that date.
Look, I was having a good time.
Oh, good.
If I can just get a promise that she's not going to write about me, that would be amazing.
Ooh,
Can
this
you
is going to be a
promise?
really juicy chapter that she'd have to leave out.
I'll tell you what, Tommy, I will do you one better. I will write about this, except I will take full responsibility and be the bad date.
Oh,
you're going to be the bad
okay.
date.
Tables have turned. Yeah, there you go,
Wait,
Alexis.
does that mean you're using us as content to be in your book?
Ooh, I think I have to call my agent first, and
No, put me in.
I'm
We
sure
need
that there's a
more
cut that we're
followers.
supposed to get. Yeah.
Aw.
Too late. I've already have the chapter outlined.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm starting a new book. Worst listeners I've ever talked to on the radio. But congratulations, you guys. We're going to send you on another date.
Hey, you guys.
Keep us updated, okay? And let us know when the book's published as well.
And who wins Hungry Hippos, too.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Brooke and Jeffrey in the morning.
Text board is blowing up right now. Not surprised, 97% of people agree Brooke is a bad person for not liking Hungry Hippos.
You guys,
had
it's
no
not
idea.
a very good game. Like, there's no strategy at all. You just
Exactly.
bang on that thing.
Yeah.
That's all
fun.
you do.
You know, Brooke, we tend to not like things when we see ourselves reflected in them. Is that maybe what's going on here?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Every time I eat my lunch every day, I'm very hungry after.
Yeah. I mean, if the hippos were eating kale and crawdad
Yeah, I was gonna say,
salad,
you eat so healthy, Brooke.
you'd say best game ever.
Yeah. All right, you got me. You got me
You
there.
need to eat little white balls.
Yeah.
That's what the hungry hippos eat.
That's right. But I'm glad we were able to get them a second date. They really sounded like they had good chemistry.
I'm curious to hear too, and if and when her book actually gets published.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
Yeah.
I hope she stays updated.
And
I
if
feel
we're
like we
in
should
it.
read it.
Yeah, we
Or,
should.
I mean, I'll do an audiobook. I don't like to read.
Yeah. But remember, you can always email the show. We'll call that person who isn't calling you back. Check out all of our second date podcasts up online wherever you get your podcasts at Brooke and Jeffrey.
Brooke and Jeffrey in the morning. Things are getting spooky at iHeartland in Fortnite. Ben, Matt, and Noel, the hosts of Stuff They Don't Want You to Know, are going to investigate Paranormal Day. State Farm Park will be the epicenter of all things ghosts, Ouija boards, crazy scientific tools, and maybe a visit from the great beyond. Don't miss the spooky event starting Wednesday, May 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern and available for a limited time. Get to iHeartRadio.com/iHeartland to start playing today. Goosebumps not included. Head to State Farm Park right in the middle of iHeartland for the biggest events happening in the metaverse.
Are you a history buff? Then we have a new podcast for you. Half Hour History, Secrets of the Medieval World. This show has it all. From the fall of Rome, to chivalrous knights, to the Black Plague.
There are 3 popes, there's the Black Death. The superpowers of England and France are fighting a war.
Listen to Half Hour History, Secrets of the Medieval World on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready for a second season of the Super Secret Bestie Club podcast? My name is Curly.
And I'm Maya. And this is a best friends club, and you can definitely sit with us.
Each week, we'll talk about relationships, heartbreaks, and of course, our favorite L word.
Love. And
horoscopes, astrology, according to our point of view.
We're not oracles, but we know a toxic Virgo when we see one. I'm pointing at you, Curly.
That's right. Listen to the Super Secret Bestie Club on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.